Here are 4 more hidden effects of childhood trauma that people often mistake for personality. A lot of people think these are just personality traits, keeping your world separate, hating attention, joking about pain, or struggling to cry. But they are often much deeper than that. Underneath these patterns, there is usually fear, shame, or old survival learning. And once you see that, a lot of your own life may start making a lot more sense. The first one is about adapting so well that different parts of your life stop feeling safe together. Some people are very good at being different with different people. With one group, they act one way. With another group, they act completely differently. But the deeper issue isn't just adapting. It's that they often feel deeply uncomfortable when those worlds start to overlap. When one group of friends meets another. When someone from one part of life shows up in another. When different versions of you might suddenly exist in the same room. And the feeling can be strange. Not always dramatic, but tense. Like something is about to go wrong. Like something is about to get exposed, mixed up, or broken. This is not just social flexibility. It can also be a kind of internal compartmentalizing. Like life got split into separate boxes, and those boxes were never supposed to open at the same time. A lot of people learned this early. If home was chaotic, painful, secretive, or emotionally unsafe, separating parts of life could actually feel safer. You don't show this here. You don't bring that there. You don't let one world touch the other. Sometimes parents modeled that directly. Sometimes the truth had to be hidden. Sometimes mixing worlds really did have consequences. So the system learns, separate is safer. In adult life, this can quietly interfere with closeness. Because if your worlds never meet, sometimes you never fully get to exist as one whole person anywhere. So what helps? Don't force this too fast. Start small. Notice where overlap makes you tense. Let parts of life touch in low-risk ways. And ask yourself, what am I afraid will happen if these parts of my life meet? A lot of the time, the answer is not logical. It's old fear. And that brings us to the next one. Because if being fully yourself feels risky, then simply being seen can feel risky too. For some people, attention does not feel neutral. And it definitely does not feel pleasant. Being asked a question. Being called on. Being watched too closely. Even something as simple as people singing happy birthday can create a wave of tension that feels way bigger than the moment. From the outside, this can look like shyness. But often it goes deeper than that. Because in those moments, some people don't just feel awkward. They feel flooded. They freeze. They go blank. Why? Because for a lot of people, being noticed in childhood was not safe. If attention landed on you, it might mean criticism, pressure, or humiliation. A lot of people grew up hearing things like, "Look at me when I'm talking to you," and it didn't feel like connection. It felt like threat. We learned a very hard rule: being visible is dangerous. That rule follows you into adult life. It can affect speaking, socializing, or even just taking up space. So what helps? First, stop shaming yourself. It is not weakness. Second, build small, safe experiences of being seen. Record yourself just for yourself. Listen to your own voice. Get used to being visible in small doses. This isn't about forcing yourself through fear. It's about teaching the body that attention does not always lead to danger. And the next pattern can look almost light on the surface, but there is often a lot of pain underneath it. Sometimes a person tells a very painful story and smiles while telling it, or makes it sound funny, like it was no big deal. From the outside, that can look like they are over it. But very often, humor is functioning like protection. If you grew up where pain was mocked or vulnerability was embarrassing, you learned a rule: if you talk about painful things, do it lightly. Turn it into something people can handle. That becomes automatic. People talk about deeply painful experiences like they're sharing weird trivia. This doesn't mean they're lying. It means that joking was once the safest way to touch pain without being swallowed by it. But if you always joke where it hurt, you may never feel how serious it really was. And that makes it harder to truly process. So what helps? Simply notice the pattern. Where do I laugh when I'm actually hurting? Where do I make pain easier for others to hear, but harder for me to feel? Then, slowly practice saying some things without the protective smile. With people who are safe enough to hear the real version. Because sometimes healing begins when you let pain sound like pain. And that leads directly into one more very sensitive pattern: how tears work, or don't work, after trauma. A lot of people with trauma have a very complicated relationship with crying. They often live on one of two edges. Either they cannot cry at all, even when they are deeply hurt, like the tears are locked behind a wall. Or the opposite: once the tears start, it becomes very hard to stop. Like something too big has opened, and it doesn't know how to regulate. On one side, there is shutdown. On the other, there is overflow. Why? Because for many, crying was not safe in childhood. You were shamed for it, or punished, or no one was there to help you through it. So the system learned, hold everything in, or release everything without a way to come back down. If you can't cry, it does not mean you're cold. If you can't stop, it does not mean you're too sensitive. Often, this is just a nervous system that learned how to survive without safe regulation. What helps? This is deeper work. Therapy, somatic work, or EMDR can help. It also helps to ask your inner child, what happened when tears came back then? Most of all, try not to attack yourself. Your system adapted the best way it could. And when you start seeing these patterns as survival instead of flaws, something important begins to change. These were 4 more patterns that can look like personality, but often carry the shape of childhood trauma. And one thing matters here more than anything else. A lot of what people shame themselves for was once a survival strategy. Not perfect, but protective. And the more clearly you see these patterns, the less power they have over you. If one of these hit especially hard, tell me which one in the comments. And if you want part 3, let me know. Part 3 is coming next.